All right, superstars. It was a return back to Earth week for my fantasy team. 2 weeks ago, we were sitting at 2,631, got down to 2,088, back up just under 2,600 there. So it wasn't a perfect week. It was still a pretty solid score there at 932, but just a few other players doing a little bit better. Unfortunately, my Jolliffe pod situation is probably, outside of maybe Sean Blaw, is the lowest owned in the top 5,000 out of really all my players, to be honest. Probably him. Karaz, higher ownership for sure. Yeah, and that was kind of the situation there. So my mids was my big issue this week. Every other position was really, really good. And obviously missing out on Garrick, who's very highly owned also, was a little bit of a downfall. But Cotter with 31, Hughesy's 38 I had to play this week, and I was very happy with this 38. But yeah, well, he outdid AFB, to be fair, so go Hughesy. But Jolliffe 6 really hurt there. Very, very happy with Jaden Brayley and his situation there at 56. We had Crichton's 49, Blorey 48, happy enough. He's going to have a breakout game soon when he gets those tackles up and scores a try or something like that. Or the offloads are going to go away and he's not going to score. We'll find out anyway. But Heinze 70 as captain was great. Galvin 63 was awesome. Iro and Karaz, great scores there. Weeks, Drinkwater, solid. Weeks was great. Armstrong's 87 was spectacular. We had Grant 66, really good. Kaipi's Paul's 50 we took. And Aiken's 48. I missed out on 5 points by not taking Piakura over Lussick, but yeah, thankfully it was a better second half for him. But yeah, shocking first half. He was 8 in 10 minutes and then 5 in 30. So that was pretty gross, but yeah, end up at 31, thank goodness. And yeah, Aiken's 48, which could have been better as well if that try was given, or if you got those stats with the line break and the couple of tackle breaks beforehand. But Atkinson up some cash, hopefully gets a good chance to kick goals and do good things in round 13. So he's fine in that situation. Piakura at 357 with 36. At least he's a playable player this week, which is cool. Traded out Salmon in the end instead of Piakura, with Salmon's news of potentially being out for multiple weeks, either this week, which I needed him, and then potentially like the week after as well. These infections are anywhere between 1 and 6 weeks. It sounds like from what NRL Physio was saying, so it's a medical thing. He doesn't know, but that's anyone he's tracked. That's what it is, between that 1 to 6 range. So I was like, I don't think I can really risk that. And I'm 1 short now for round 13, but I'll be able to trade at least one person out the next few weeks to set up myself up for that situation. And it's going to be Jolliffe, basically. And Jolliffe probably goes to like a Max King or something like that. So yeah, like some people traded in Max King this week. He picked up a 65, which really outdid my plays as well. So look, 932, not the worst in the world. A little bit of a loss in rank. Used 2 trades in the end. Could have been worse. But yeah, like pretty much the situation right now, I wouldn't have had to trade this week, but with Jolliffe being out, I think I'm going to have to make that one and fix that position up in the mids especially, or hopefully Plath is back and we have him in the mids as well and we can do a little bit of loop. Oh, actually won't be a loop. I've only got 17 this week, but I was a little bit worried coming into this week that hopefully all these guys are named and Piakura can actually score well enough. Same with Atkinson. I'm going to have to play all these guys. So I'm not expecting a big week here in round 12, but my goal for my team is to be setting it up perfectly. Well, perfectly. That's a big word. Setting it up well enough, let's say, to cover myself with a minimal amount of trades over round 13 to round 20 and score well and make up some ranks in round 13. Do really well in 14 solidly enough, sort of round 12 and 14 are my tougher weeks, and then it gets easier from there for myself. So I'm looking to do well over those weeks and then be able to do well in the back end. And for the most part, I've been making some good coin, and I'm out to a team value of just under 13 mil now, which isn't too bad. We had Brayley going up this week with 30, which is good. Cotter went down a little bit. Hughes was up. Jolliffe down 53 hertz. But he's been doing well for me. Crichton's up, Hines up, Blaw down 5, Galvin 32, Iro 20, Karaz 28, Weeks 85, massive. Drinkwater down a bit, Armstrong up huge, which was good. And then Atkinson was the 42, Pierce Ball down 16, Piakura staying the same, Grant basically down 4, Lussick down 15. So yeah, not bad overall in that front. A little bit of a positive week, obviously, but a few downers as well, which hurt in that scenario. And you've obviously got a few of the players like Fafita, Yo, Hopgood, Edwards, Eli Gatoa, a lot of these guys at the top, with Garrick and the like, scored really, really well. And Latrell as well. Brownie, solid. Robson was solid as well. Like McInnes did well. Cook was good as well. So most of these guys did really well this week. And yeah, a lot of them I didn't own. So yeah, overall, most players did pretty well this week, which is great as a viewer to see your player do fairly well in that front. So let's go in and jump into the rankings and have a little chat about the guys up top. Congrats to all these guys. You got Patrick in 1, Josh in 2, Christian in 3 there. Matty B, the French Bulldogs, he wanted me to talk about his squad. He thought he was in 1st, back down to 4th. And then Tommy, who's been in my DMs as well. They're on tied points with him and Matty are tied points there. So very, very close up top. We've got Patrick 21 points in front of 5th and 8 points in front of 2nd there. 1 point behind there, Christian is. So it's very, very close up top. And we'll just have a quick look at the top 5 because I think a few of them wanted me to shout them out. So why not, while we're here. Well, Cole ended up at 45. How'd that end up? Wow, okay, cool. Where's my players getting updates overnight? Anyway, yeah, Patrick, well done for you with this one. AFB and Britton Nickera, 2 low ones. So it could have been a lot better, but Hopgood's 68 there, very helpful. Garrick there, Edwards getting a nice score as captain as well. Cody Walker, a lovely trade in over the last couple of weeks too. And didn't even have to play Iro in the end, but took Strangers 45, Galvin Brayley there with Toku Harris out. So, you know, could have been a little bit better, could have been maybe the same. Maybe it would have looped and end up in the same situation. Josh there has Jolliffe, so he lost, obviously lost out some points on Patrick, who gained 106 points on him this week. So congrats to Patrick. Josh, you'll be back, mate. Jolliffe, a bit of a low one for you, unfortunately, but most of the rest of the team looked like it did well for you, and you had Madison there as well. Wow, and didn't even take Weeks to score in the end. That's sad. That's a tough one. Wonder how that worked out, given he just popped Weeks in 7 to straight up. Maybe was hoping to loop if possible, and then Madison kind of stuffed things around. Not sure on that one. Message me, Josh, and let me know how that one went. Christian in there with a 946. Had Samuel Afino in there. Had Jolliffe 6 as well. Talangi's 39. Pretty solid on that front. We had Matty. Want to mention his squad. Stefano 48. There you go. Blaze 39. Had Garrick, Robson, Grant, Blore, Aiken. Lovely. Pretty good setup, mate. Good stuff on that front. And then lastly, Tommy B, my long lost cousin, 1,053. What a return week for you, mate. Good stuff. Max King, Isaiah Yo, and Hopgood. There you go. That's where I got cooked this week. The rest of the positions, I did well. I even outdid in certain spots. But it was just that one there that hurt me a little bit in the front, in the mids there. So yeah, that's all right. We can cop that sometimes. Let's jump in and look at the leagues. And as I said, I'm trying not to trade too much this week, but we'll have to see where we end up with team list. My brother beat me this week. My partner got 917, not too bad. Not amazing, obviously. And then Scoop with a 993. Good return from the Scoopman. Congrats, mate. Thought it'd be a good week for him there. My head-to-heads in here. Lost a couple, 1-1. Podcasts, I'm end up back in 4th spot, unfortunately. So Lucy there had, which is the second team for one of the boys. Anyway, Lucy in there, 998. So yeah, better score than myself with a good midsection. McInnes, Carrigan, King. Again, that's where I lost out. And then no Garrick there. Daniel at 954, so keeps in at 395 overall and 280th overall for Austin. Good scores there. On that front, getting caught up a little bit by the guys below me as well. And overall, I think there was a bunch of 950s, high 900s. Mark was in there at 952, so a little bit better than myself. I think Eddie was the same. Chris, 997. So yeah, a few scores in there that they were able to do well. And they're catching up to me now after a bit of a low score this week. But yeah, that was fine. I'll work it out. And on Fantasy Analysis community, we had Joseph, Nathan, Joseph again, Matty G, and Anthony in the top 5. James, shout out to you. And then in the private group, shout out to Mitch, Liam, Ash, Hamish, and Garav there, who were in a good spot. Mitchie at 114th. There's 200 people in this private group, guys. So yeah, less chance of being right up top, but all in good positions to push hard and get into a really good spot over the next few weeks. So yeah, I suppose that's probably all I need to say on my squad. Goal right now, again, is just to continue setting up. I've got 4 out this week, and hopefully that's just the case and we don't have any more late outs. But obviously if I do, I can make that trade unnecessary. Hopefully it's a not a necessary extra trade. But Jolliff's going to have to go if he's out, which he likely is. And likely he's going to be Max King coming into this side just to set myself up for the bye rounds. The other option could be to upgrade a Piakura if I wanted to. So Max King at, what it'll be, 670 as well, something like that for Maxi Boy. And then we could use that extra, so 659. And then I could use that 260 to go Piakura to someone if I wanted to. But that might be a little bit of an unnecessary extra trade that I think we can hold as well, given the situation I'm at. So hopefully one trade is the goal, but we'll work that one out with team lists and the like. But I'm in a tiptoeing situation at the moment with the 17 on the park, 16 before Jolliffe trade. And so we'll have to see how team list goes and make our decisions from there and get into all the buy, hold, risk it sells from that point. So let's move to the head-to-head team now for a quick update as well. So an 893 didn't end up too great either, and still I've been unable to make ranks, unfortunately, in the head-to-head squad. A good trade in a Reed Marnie worked out well. We had Tohu Harris out, so I ended up taking Sammy Hughes' score. I couldn't end up grabbing Kai Pearce Paul's 50 there. I took Ethan Strange 45, and we left it at that there, which worked out solid. I only had the one looper in this game here, so couldn't end up getting more than both Strange and Sammy Hughes, and that's where it's at. But Armstrong, Glory in there. Cole with his 32 wasn't the best, obviously, there. I was hoping for a little bit more. I've got Silva Havili sitting there in my mids, and hopefully, don't have to play him this week, and hopefully Tohu Harris is back. We'll find out a little bit more on that. Usually the fingers aren't too bad. Depends, which one. Obviously, if it's a thumb, it's a little bit more on the tough side. But Britton Nikora, bringing him in 2 weeks ago now. Good score into an average score there. Dylan Brown kind of steering the ship around. Blaze Talangi 39. Having Garrick, thank goodness, with Weeks. Drinkwater in there 46. So just a bit average overall, especially with Crichton as captain. Things could have worked out a little bit better. Obviously not having Jolliffe in that 6, compared to my overall side there. No Grant compared to Reed. Not a big difference, to be fair. But just a few lower scores across the board. With the 30s, in the low 30s there for those guys. Brown was solid. Talangi was solid there. Got Karaz in my team over him. And just the captaincy as well. So I forgot a couple of those things, a little bit of a change, 30 here, 30 there, and you're at a 950, and I make some decent ranks in the head-to-head squad. But that's where we're at with that. In terms of the trade situation, I have 13, but I have 711 in the bank. So time to make a splash this week on a top tier gun and hope they don't make Origin, basically. So I'll have a little look as to how my squad setup is. I want to make sure I'm especially good for rounds 14, 17, 20, given it's a head-to-head squad, and about half the leagues we worked out play round 13 and half don't. So happy to potentially take a loss in some of those leagues just to make sure that I get things right in those other rounds, especially on the losing trades front with the head-to-head side. Again, we need to get ourselves some wins, so we do need to make some trades for that, and we will get rid of some of our cheaper players to make some good upgrades, especially this week. Like, there's not a lot of guys that are really poor in this side, but there's definitely some guys that we can make some upgrades with, and we're going to do that over the next few. Whether that's working out to bring in a Dylan Edwards, who we might not think plays Origin, or going for one of the other top guys in a Hopgood or something like that, or you go Eli Gatoa in that edge position, that could work out as well. There's a few things we could do in this side to get things right and getting things moving in the right direction points-wise and getting some wins on the board. But this is a tougher sort of situation when you are sitting at the 25,000 mark. And obviously there's a lot of people playing still and could be stuck in the 15, 20, 25,000 mark. And this team is going to be very, very helpful for you to get a little bit of a gauge on how to get out of that situation. So that'll be the plan over the next few weeks, is help show you how to do that. And we do need to start making some headway and get a little bit of luck in the side as well, because there hasn't been much of that for a good while. But basically lost most of my head-to-heads, won this one by 1, got this one just by 5 here. So close one there, loss. And then got one down here as well. So again, hit and miss. We're outside the top 8 in 3 of them. 9th, 10th, so that's not too bad. We're 6th, 7th, 2nd, 3rd, 19th in the Kargarov, so we're getting pumped in that one. That might be a game over. We're 8th in our head-to-head league, so we need to sort that one out. That's for sure. If we want any chance of making the knockout competition, which is the prizes competition there, And yeah, that's the hope of getting back into that. But we do need a bit of a luck type of week and to make some good trades for once, to be honest, would be the way. Do need to spend a bit more time on this head-to-head side just to actually get things sorted, because I obviously spend all my time on the overall team. The way I speak about it, you'll know that. And yeah, I wanted to get Cole in because I thought he would do pretty well, but the team was pretty poor there. I think he'll have a bounce back. There'll be a few others there I think we can upgrade as well. Yeah, Havili, thought he'd probably get a couple more minutes, and it hasn't worked out. That was a bit of a punt. I needed him for a hooker that 1 week. Went for it, and yeah, so there's that. So that's the head-to-head team, guys. Obviously, the overall, the main important one, and this is just to show you how to play head-to-head. I haven't shown you well this year, but yeah, we'll get there eventually. So thanks, guys, and we'll see you in the next round results video next week. But the next one up will be the impact of the next few rounds, obviously coming into round 13, what we need to be looking for into that, and also just looking at those 3 matchups coming up, because it is definitely playing a factor, and we've seen that across the weeks there. So that's that one, and then team list tomorrow afternoon. See you guys.